there you go. You made it back to the Frat House here on our Valentine's Day episode of 5 Minutes at the Frat House with Frat House Mike and Sidekick. And listen, make no doubt about it, we certainly appreciate the love you show us. And we're recognizing that this evening on our Valentine show. We appreciate the love you show us all through the year, a year and a half now, as we are now commencing on our 76th consecutive week being here with you. And we appreciate it. Thank you very much. Hard to believe, Sidekick, but we're already ready to talk about motorsports again. And welcoming new seasons, actually. Here we go. Are you ready, folks? NHRA is ready to kick up this coming weekend. And in fact, I believe that qualifying will be taking place on Thursday and Friday of this week out at Pomona, California. And so now, from this point, from now until November 10th, well, you've got yourself 24 weekends to be tuning in to exciting drag racing. And we're going to be trying to bring as many of those to you, highlights from them, and bring in the standings, as many of them to you as we possibly can. In fact, we've got John Capps coming up on Fan Junkies Radio on Friday, just in advance of the first Winter Nationals. The Winter Nationals, that'll be coming up on over the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. The finals will be on Sunday, and so we're going to have John Capps. And I'm hoping that perhaps maybe what I'll be able to do for next week's show is bring a little bit, perhaps maybe of that interview that we'll be doing with him on Friday off of Fan Junkies Radio. We'll be bringing that to you here on 5 Minutes at the Frat House next week. But let's talk a little NASCAR, because that season's kicking up as well.
Yep.
The official start actually will be next weekend with the Daytona 500. But we're not without racing just yet this weekend. Excuse me. Because we've got what has in the past been known as the shootout, the sprint shootout. Correct me on all my facts as I go through this stuff, because I'm going to turn to you in a moment. This week we've got the Sprint Unlimited, which is an exhibition race that'll be done down at the Daytona International Speedway on Saturday night. It'll be aired live at 8 o'clock on Fox. And as exhibitions go, Sidekick, in my opinion, I've seen this one for the past number of years. Generally, it's a really good one. These drivers go out, they drive hard. I mean, this is, while it doesn't count in the point standings, these guys don't think twice about wrecking. I mean, they're not, they're going hard at it.
This is for money.
Okay, well, there you go. I guess
it's a non-points race, so it's all about the glory for them at this,
Right. But this is a fun sort of thing, and I think what's going to make this one extra fun this particular year is that this is going to be the first time that we're going to see the new Gen 6 models. All of them in action, all on the course at the exact same time in a competitive environment. And this is really neat, folks, because I know you, like I, and vice versa, we're both excited about this whole new Gen 6 model look.
No, absolutely. Super excited.
Yeah.
And for those not really in the know about NASCAR, or more of a casual observer, just to let you know, the Daytona 500 is the beginning of the NASCAR season. Mm-hmm. It's their Super Bowl equivalent for those football fans. And leading up to it, you have Speed Week, which, it's just like Super Bowl. There's all sorts of activities and everything down at Daytona. It starts off with this the sprint, what they call now the Sprint Unlimited. 19 racers are in it. It's going to be 75 laps. There's a lot of fan interaction with it. There's the drivers are basically the pole setters from last season, and then past winners of this event.
Right.
Big name not in it this year.
Right.
Is we were talking about pre-shows. Brad Keselowski. He was the champion, but he never won a pole last season.
Right.
So he's not in this race. Last year it was won by Kyle Busch, who's looking to be the fifth. If he wins it again this year, will be the fifth driver to win back-to-back events. And then you got Tony Stewart, who is looking to get his fourth win, to inch a little bit closer to Dale Earnhardt, who has 6 wins at this event. But to get back to the fan interaction, there's segments, 3 segments of the race. So the fans actually voted on how long the segments are going to be, what the pit stops are allowed in between the segments, and how many drivers get eliminated after the second elimination.
Mm-hmm.
So basically that's the format, is you get eliminated in the first round, and then you start again, and there's another elimination. And then, the third round is just, a certain number, 5, 10, whatever, racers that are going to go for the win.
And I got to tell you, folks, as like I said, as somebody who is really, and I've been unabashed about this. I'm fairly new still to the sport because I've only been following it for about 4 years. This is an exciting race to watch. I mean, for it being an exhibition, it doesn't count in anything. It's an exciting race to watch. And so, who are some of the drivers that we've got in this particular race? Casey Kane, Marcus Ambrose, Denny Hamlin. I was pointing out, I put up on our Frat House Facebook page the other day. One of the writers from USA Today actually has Denny Hamlin as being his top pick right now to win the entire Sprint Cup Championship this year. Tony Stewart's in there. Greg Biffle is in there. But then you've got folks like Eric Almirola.
Marcus Ambrose is in there.
Yes.
Ken Schrader's in there.
Right, who all won pole positions.
Yep.
So this is...
Well, Kenny Schrader's in there
because he won...
the previous winner.
Right, exactly. Juan Pablo Montoya is in there. Hopefully he doesn't,
Well, we got new jet dryers.
That's what I heard. I heard there are new
jet dryers
they unveiled them yesterday, apparently.
Oh, no!
Yeah, we got new ones. I think they're wand-proof. Is that what it? Is that what I heard?
That's what they're saying.
I think that's what they put up when I read it. They're wand-proof. So, anyhow, check it out this Saturday night. 8 o'clock over on Fox. I think you'll be it's an enjoyable event to watch. And like I said, if for no other reason, if you've been a NASCAR fan, listen, it's certainly worth taking a look at for the new Gen 6 cars, which I think are just sleek looking and really, really just a neat design.
Yep.
All right, before we jump off of racing, let's go take a look at our Frat House Facebook post of the week, which is one that I put up on Sunday last week, which had a kind of a what I would call a Budweiser type rip-off image. Reading nitromethane, the king of fuels. And I associated a comment with that well, as we just pointed out, next week at this time, which will be this coming weekend, next week at this time, we'll be preparing for the final rounds of the of NHRA season opening Winter Nationals. And that was, believe it or not, our most viewed post over on the Frat House Eagleville page. So keep checking things out over there.
Yeah, to steal a line from the newly re-released Top Gun, I feel the need for speed.
The need for speed, yes. Yep.
Start your engine.
It's fun time of year. I'm looking forward to it.
I can't wait to get some racing in this season.
Are they re-releasing that movie?
Yeah, I saw it this weekend actually in IMAX. It's in IMAX in 3D now.
It's already out? Oh.
Yep.
I don't.
So,
okay. We'll talk about that one later.
Yep.
All right. In the meantime, let's talk a little baseball. How about that one? No, there's not much to talk about, except for the fact that all of the teams now have, the vast majority of all their players now have reported for spring training camps, whether you're over on the West Coast or down south on the East Coast here. A lot of chatter all over the place as teams are now reporting. And it won't be long now before we actually are starting to see full squads playing competitive games in exhibition now, mind you. Won't be long now, as I think we are at this point now 9 days away from starting with exhibition games, where they'll actually be being played against opposing squads. And, if that's your sort of thing, that's terrific. But as we know, all of that means absolutely nothing. The date that we're all really looking forward to is the date where the games actually do start counting in the wins and losses column. And how long do we have for that? Well, that's just 45 days away. 45 days away, and trust me, it's going to go by quickly. That's our countdown
Not quick enough.
to Major League Baseball. How about a little round ball? Let's go take a look at what's going on in round ball. We got to start it out with college ball because wow. A lot of changes that took place this past week in the standings in the top 25 over in the NCAA Division I basketball. Losses that were incurred by top 10 Michigan Wolverines, Florida Gators and the Kansas Jayhawks, all reflected in the top 25 AP poll. What do the rankings look like right now? With just about, we've got a little bit about 2 weeks, thereabouts, maybe a little bit more than that, before conference tournaments. Now, Indiana stays atop at the number 1 position. However, it was rumored, and there was thinking that perhaps, in fact, they might have been knocked out of there. But that, somehow or another, in the AP poll, they're staying up at the top.
Yeah, they did get knocked out of the coaches poll.
Well, that was because Indiana, along with many others, as you're going to hear in a moment, along with many others, incurred losses during the course of the week. And a lot of those losses were, of course, top 10 teams. Duke moves up to moves up from number 4 to the number 2 spot. Although they had a very, very scary Sunday afternoon, I believe it was Sunday afternoon, matchup, might have been Saturday, against Boston College, where they only won that game by 1. They should have won it by much more than that. Miami jumped, holy smokes, Miami jumped from number 8 to the number 3 spot. Michigan down to number 4. Gonzaga hangs in there. They move up to number 5. Both Michigan State and K-State now have broken into the top 10 this week. But as I pointed out, Kansas tumbled all the way down to number 14 after appearing in the number 5 spot last week. Notably, for this current week right now, notably, you got the Wisconsin Badgers, you got Memphis, you got Colorado State, and Kentucky now has jumped back on board into the top 25 list after they were not ranked last week.
And your favorite team has moved up 4 spots to 21st.
Yes, they did. Yeah, Notre Dame. Yes, Sidekick is referring to Notre Dame there. If it was noted that I, forgot to mention them, well, yeah, they were number 25 last week, and they actually moved up to number 21. Now, listen, don't forget that as we go along and as we get closer and closer to the big tournament time, the NCAA tournament time, we will be having open invitations available to anyone at all that wants to jump in on our Frat House Bracket Challenge in the next few weeks. And so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to stay tuned here to our show, or the better way to get all that information, go over to the Frat House page, the Frat House-Eagleville, like the page, and you'll get the notification before anybody else when the brackets are up there and ready to go. And you're going to be able to jump in on that and compete, as we all do right here. Yep. I know Sidekick here.
Not so well.
Sidekick here is looking forward to it. I know that he's just chomping at the bit to jump in.
Nightmare.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's about it. That's how I feel about it.
Yes, looking at Sidekick's bracket is a nightmare.
This is my mulligan.
Get over there and like us over on Facebook, and then you'll get all those you'll get all that information. All right, let's stay with round ball. All right, let's take a look at the NBA. We're approaching the All-Star break in the NBA. In fact, the very last games will be played, I believe, tomorrow night in the NBA, of which I think there are only 2 that are scheduled. The All-Star game is actually scheduled for Sunday at 8 p.m. on TNT. And I gotta be honest, this is one All-Star game I kind of usually bail out on. And I'm just being straight up about it, folks. The NBA is fine. I enjoy it. I follow my teams. I enjoy talking about it. But I find the NBA All-Star game, I don't know, to me, there's no defense. It's generally, to me, it's rather dull. That's just my personal opinion. But we have the All-Star break coming up. I know you're going to be glued to it. I know you're going to be.
No.
Sunday,
9 o'clock, Walking Dead. Sorry.
As we move towards the All-Star break, let's take a look at where the NBA divisions are at this moment. And, have there been any major changes since last week? Well, no, there haven't. There have really been no major changes whatsoever. Over in the Atlantic Division, the New York Knicks still sit atop that division. They are now 3.5 games in front of the Brooklyn Nets. I think they increased their lead by about a half game there from last week. In the Central Division, the Indiana Pacers, now just a half game in front of the Chicago Bulls. I'm frankly expecting the Central Division to go back and forth, right up probably and right up until the end.
The Bulls.
Of course, Derrick Rose came out just the other day and said he will not be returning to the Bulls until he is, quote unquote, 110%. And when reporters asked him outright, well, where do you think you are at this point? His response, far away from returning. Yeah. All right. Anyhow,
on a court far away.
Yeah, the Bulls right now, though, are not putting any kind of timetable on him at this point. Over in the...
my goodness gracious!
Well, that's what the Chicago fans are saying. Over in the Southwest Division, my goodness, the Miami Heat, 8-2 in their last 10 games. Now they are 7.5 games in front of the Atlanta Hawks. Sidekick, what in the world can we talk about except LeBron James? 6 games in a row now with 30 points or more. That is a new record. He broke a franchise record the other night by going 5 games in a row, and last night, 6 games in a row at 30 points. And right now, the feeling is that we're looking at a LeBron James here that we have not seen so far in his entire career. This is an amazing display that he's putting on. And you know, suddenly on some of the talk shows that I'm listening to today, all the conversation going back and forth, you know, who's the better player? Michael Jordan, LeBron James. I mean, this is where we're going to be going with this kind of stuff. I, for one, am, you know, to me, you got a long way to go before you start making those comparisons.
Are you bleeping kidding me? I mean, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Not even close.
But you can't deny what LeBron's done in the past couple of games, for sure.
Well, okay, he's on a streak. You know,
30 points.
There was some jokes on
180 points in 6 games. I mean, yeah.
Where all the LeBron haters were, and I'm like, oh, right here.
Listen, I've made this clear, I'm not a big LeBron fan, but I don't hate him. I think what we're seeing right now is just, it's remarkable. I mean, to put on this kind of of course, now I think tomorrow night they play Oklahoma City Thunder, and we're going to see. Because as I'm moving through the standings right now, over in the Northwest, the Oklahoma City Thunder have pulled out to a 6.5 game lead over the Denver Nuggets. And I was mentioning on Fan Junkies Radio the other day, it's kind of a shame because the Denver Nuggets, if they were in a completely different division, would actually be leading. That's how good Oklahoma City Thunder is right now at 39-13. 6-4 in their last 10.
And I'll be hoping that they put the smackdown on the Miami Heat.
Yeah, well, and frankly, I'd be curious. I'll be curious to see the line on that game tomorrow morning because I can't see LeBron doing it 7 games in a row. That's not against Oklahoma City.
I mean, it's about time he's living up to his potential.
Well, I understand exactly what you're saying. You're right about that, and I think you're expressing the sentiment of a lot of people, particularly people probably on the outside of Miami. You're probably expressing the sentiment of people in Cleveland.
Yeah, where was this when you were...
Yeah, exactly.
Back wagon.
Over in the Pacific Division, the LA Clippers have cooled off just a little bit. They've gone 5-5 in their last 10, but nonetheless, as I pointed out, and I pointed out, I think last week, Golden State just hasn't been able to pick up on the Clippers' losses, and so still, the Golden State Warriors are 6 games behind the Pacific leading LA Clippers.
So would you say they kind of lost the wind in their sails?
Yeah. Lost the wind in their sails. There you go. I wasn't thinking quick enough to come back on. For the Southwest, the San Antonio Spurs are just rolling over everything that's in their path. 41-12 they are at this point. 9-1 in their last 10. And they are 7 games in front of the Memphis Grizzlies. And there is our round ball wrap-up for this week, both on the college side and on the pro side. Oof. Good basketball time, though. It's a good. I like mid-February going into March for basketball. It's good stuff. Okay, you ready to talk a little bit?
It's like my second favorite sport to talk about.
Second, yeah. Second. Your third, though. Are you ready to talk a little hockey? You're going to talk a little hockey tonight, aren't you? Huh? See, we're going to force you to talk a little bit of hockey.
Protest.
We're going to force you to talk a little bit of hockey tonight. Well,
This wasn't in my CBA.
Look at it this way. We didn't necessarily gear it as NHL hockey.
Correct.
It could be any kind of hockey. That's correct. Correct. As what we're going to do here this evening is we are introducing a new feature here this evening on 5 Minutes at the Frat House, and we're calling this is our Top 5. Yep. And this evening, we're going to be taking a look at the top 5 reasons you do not want your kid to be a hockey referee. And so let's kick it off with number 7. Number 7, top 5 reason, number 7, helicopter parents. They're going to get in your space. Oh, they're going to get in your face. You know that.
Coming in at number 6. Facebook memes cover your every action. And you know I love a good Facebook meme.
Oh, well, that's why we gave this one to you. Number 5, coming in at number 5. Listen, you got to know it. Everybody hates you.
Coming in at number 4, too much ice. Ocean needs to investigate.
Over at number 3. You are expected to get in the middle of everything. You got to get in the middle. You know, there's no getting around it. That's part of your job description.
Yep. Coming in at number 2, dose. Every day it's a fight just to come to work.
Yeah, you have those days every day, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
And at the number 1 spot, 8 ounces of vulcanized rubber can really smart. Alrighty. There you go.
You're really dumb if you're sitting at Crosby.
There you go. Those are our top 5. Top 5.
Yep.
I'm waiting for the. I'm going to be sitting back waiting for the comments and the emails from our fans over our obvious top 5. We'll see whether they caught on to it. It's our top 5. Listen, I want to put a thanks out right now to our production director, Jen, who came up with this new feature. And it put it together for us this week. And we're going to be bringing another one to you next week. And we'll be bringing them to you, occasionally as we continue to go through things and go through different seasons. But we got one coming for you next week. So that got you warmed up right now. Yeah, it got you warmed up. So you're ready to talk a little NHL hockey, right?
Absolutely ready. Let's go.
Okay, all right. Finally, you're ready to talk some hockey. That's good.
We're ready to talk hockey.
All righty. How about this one, folks? Yeah, it's a shortened season, and believe it or not, we are better than one quarter of the way through the shortened season, which is now in the rearview mirror. And so let's take a look at where the divisional standings are and whether we saw any lead changes take place dramatically or not, as we did last week. And so let's go over to the Atlantic Division. Did we have a lead change there? Yes, we did. We have the New Jersey Devils now are leading over in the Atlantic Division. They are 3 points ahead of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Over in the Northeast Division, the Boston Bruins continue to maintain their lead over there. Now they are 2 points ahead of the Toronto Maple Leafs. However, over in the Southeast, the Carolina Hurricanes have taken over that particular division. They are 2 points ahead of the Tampa Bay Lightning. My goodness. Have you taken notice of the Chicago Blackhawks?
Yep, I really like these chocolates.
There you go. The Chicago Blackhawks have a...
Let's go have a ham sandwich.
He doesn't need one. The Chicago Blackhawks have yet to lose a game. 10-0-3 they are. 23 points. They are leading the entire NHL division league right now. They are 6 points ahead of your St. Louis Blues. Who are they playing tonight? Who are your St. Louis Blues playing tonight?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, there's Detroit Red Wings again. Yes, they are. They're playing the Detroit Red Wings. Over in the Northwest, the Vancouver Canucks stay atop there. They are now 5 points ahead of the Minnesota Wild. And in the Pacific Division, the Anaheim Ducks are just 2 points ahead of the San Jose Sharks. And there's my NHL update. Hard as I tried, folks, I tried. You see, we did our very best, our level best to get him involved in the NHL conversation.
But unfortunately, they put shiny objects on the table.
Shut up and start talking.
Folks, you got to give me a hand here. You got to send me an email, drop me a note. How can we get him engaged? Somehow or another, give me an idea on an angle.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, you're just not telling. All right, let's wrap it up for this weekend. Let's run around and thank all of our folks that support us all the time. Aside from you, we're going to show a little love. It's Valentine's Day. We're going to show a little love to fanjunkies.net. Jonathan's social media program over there, his website, Where Sports Meets Social Networking. Fabulous site. Get over there. Join it completely free. Takes you 30 seconds, 2 minutes tops to sign up and get in on that. Go over and check it out. Holy smokes, have we been going crazy with Fan Junkies Radio? We had a guest on today. We got one tomorrow. We got John Capps coming on tomorrow. Next week, all NASCAR guests next week. We've got a guest coming on the following Monday thereafter. We've got guests lined up, I think, right through to just about the beginning of the baseball season.
You got to check out Fan Junkies Radio.
Yes, you do. Yes, we got to check that out. Make sure you get over and check it out over on Blog Talk Radio Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 12 o'clock to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Many thanks.
Good show today.
It was. I enjoyed that show today. Thank you.
I actually got to tune into this one.
Yeah, it was a good show. It was a lot of fun. We had.
I mean, I'm not saying that the other shows aren't good, but
yeah, no. We had Dwight Baird on from up in Montreal, Quebec. He is a game producer. He produced a board game all about baseball. Yes, a board game, folks, not an electronic, not one of these controller. Went back to the old days. Check it out. Go over to Fan Junkies Radio over on Blog Talk Radio.
Yeah, you were talking about during that leagues with this board game, and I'm sitting there thinking we need to have a frat house.
We should start a frat house one. Well, we got to get the game first. We need to buy the game.
Yes.
So
go out and buy a copy of the game.
All the information is over there on that show, how to get to the game. I want to send a shout out to my buddy Chris Heidel down at herbfm.com. Herbfm.com.
Yep.
He has been consistently replaying 5 minutes of Frat House here, sometimes an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. Sometimes he goes 2 hours with it. Generally on Friday nights, you got to go over herbfm.com. Check the broadcast schedule. You'll find it there. He's also been rebroadcasting Fan Junkies Radio, so we appreciate that.
And we don't have to beg him anymore.
No, we don't. No, never had to beg him, really. CLW83, go over there, check them out, all right? They're rebroadcasting our 5 minutes at the Frat House, which I do on Saturdays over on Fan Junkies Radio. So they're rebroadcasting that. They're rebroadcasting all of the Fan Junkies programs. Last but not least, Frat House Sports. I've been very concerted in trying to get some new content up there. We got new content up there again this week, and I'm going to have excuse me, in fact, I'm going to have a story up tomorrow about Dwight Baird. I'm going to write up a whole story on Dwight Baird and the game that we were just talking about, and it's going to be up there on Frat House Sports. So you need to go over and check that out.
Great.
Yeah, check that all out over there. All right. And there you go. That's our show for this Valentine's Day 2013. How do you like that one? We're coming in under 30 minutes.
Absolutely.
Some people here said that it wasn't even possible, but I'm here to tell you that it is. It is possible.
Well, it's Valentine's Day tomorrow, so we want you to,
Are you trying to stretch this out to make sure that we...
No. Check out the show, and then have the extra minute back with your spouse or your loved one.
Yo, man, we love you.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Have a great week. We'll see you next week.
Hey, listen, there's one more thing you got to do for me. You know what it is. You got to keep us real. You got to keep us live, and you got to keep us going. We'll see you next week. Enjoy.